Today's episode of the One Piece podcast is sponsored by Right Stuf. The Right Stuf annual holiday sale is finally here. There are new items added to this sale daily, and you can save up to 95% on DVDs, Blu-rays, books, and merchandise. Quantities on some of these items are limited, so make sure to order early and often. You can visit RightStufAnime.com every day for the new items added to the holiday season, as I'm sure there will be many more. Again, that's RightStufAnime.com. On with the show.
This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 448 for the week of Monday, December 12th, 2016. My name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
And joining us this week, we have our very special guest, translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump, Stephen Paul.
Hey, what's up, guys? Your normal host is not here, but let it be known, your special guest will never let you down.
That's why you're special.
Exactly.
And also joining us this week, we have columnist for Anime News Network, General Shonen Jump guy, and One Piece Podcast anime reviewer, Sam Leach.
So I was under the impression that I was actually supposed to, pretend to be Zach here, and now I've just been kind of thrown for a loop.
Nobody can do a perfect accent. It would have been too obvious. But on this episode today, we have a manga recap for Chapter 849, a anime recap for episode 768. We'll have some piece together, and that'll be it. We're gonna wrap it up early this week if we can. But
well, that's when you know it's an Ed episode.
Hey, I pride myself on efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency means cracking the whip, and by whip I mean like an actual whip. Ed has a weird futuristic whip that he can use to whip us through the internet, and it's super painful.
Won't stop me from dragging out references and jokes.
His stand is whip it. No, his stand is Devo. And it whips us.
Wait, I think Devo was an actual character in JoJo.
Whip it.
Well, David Byrne. David Byrne is his stand.
I'd take it.
No, I'm sorry. That's Talking Heads. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Mark Mothersbaugh. There we go. Boom. Nailed it.
Nice. Okay.
I'd take either of those. But just up front, we will be having no manga next week, because it's Jump is off. It's a holiday. So it'll be the double issue next week, or the week after that, right?
Yeah, well, technically, this is the double issue this week. We are on issue number 2 and 3, and in 2 weeks, we will get issues 4 and 5.
And that'll be chapter 850, and that'll come out Monday, December 26th, the day after Christmas. So happy Boxing Day, everybody. But as for next week, we will have our One Piece Voice Actors Tell All panel that we recorded. So look forward to that.
From Matsuri-con, right, Ed?
That's right. And some other notes this week. We also, Film Gold listings continue to appear on the various Cinemark, I think, and Fandango, or any other places you can buy movie tickets. They're available now both in the US and Canada, and we will continue to update our post and post on Twitter as soon as we find them, or you tell us about them. So if you know that One Piece Film Gold is coming to your town and we haven't put it up on our site yet, tell us, and we'll put it up there and let every other One Piece fan know, at least the ones that follow our Twitter account. But as for that, and also we recorded a Patreon special subscriber podcast the other night, and we put it up on our SoundCloud for our subscribers, our Patreon supporters. So if you would like to listen to that, we talked about the 20th anniversary of One Piece, what we're looking forward to in the future, and where we were 20 years ago when One Piece started. So it's a great little extra episode. And if you want to support us on Patreon, go to patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast.
Also in it, Zach eats a whole tire. So be sure to tune in.
I was impressed.
One of those monster truck tires.
You won't believe what happens to it afterward.
Yeah, you won't believe what number 9 is.
I think you're talking about number 2.
Quick fake joke.
Number 9.
And again, also this week's episode is sponsored by Right Stuf. with their holiday sale going on, and we'll have a bigger spot for them later on in the show. But as for now, is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
No.
Okay. Let's roll right on into the manga recap.
We shall.
This is the manga recap for chapter 849, Chowbro and the Land of Mirrors. And request on the cover this week, Brooke composing with tadpole notes by Noda Skywalker, again from Osaka.
Again.
Yeah.
Noda
I added that part.
Skywalker is the only person that actually submits ideas. Or just only good ones. Probably all the other ones.
Yeah, this is a good one though. So
can you draw
I don't
Luffy
blame
as
him
Gear 4 fighting Super Saiyan God Blue Goku?
Noda Skywalker is the Drew Davenport of One Piece request.
I guess we actually found they created a Twitter account pretty recently. I feel like, and like he or she had put up a note like as their pinned tweet or whatever, just saying like, "Hey, I'm not anybody famous. I'm just like a random One Piece fan. I just like submitting these things." And apparently Oda Sensei likes them.
Yep.
also, have we addressed that Jill's here now?
Oh,
Yeah, it's not that important.
Jill's here.
Hey, Jill.
Whatever.
And joining us
Hi.
on Recap is Jill.
And now
Hi.
she's allowed to talk because she's been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time no talk about One Piece.
It has been a
Let's
while.
try that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about One Piece.
I mean,
so
things are happening.
If the tadpoles are the notes, then what are the lines?
Imagination.
Well, funny thing about tadpole poop.
Can
I wonder if anybody has like transposed or like played this according to the
I don't
Do you
know.
think Oda made something like actually good, or it was just like a bunch of shit he thought looked nice?
Yeah.
Good question. I want to
Hopefully
point
got,
out
like,
that there is a part. There's a part in Mario RPG where you have to use tadpoles to create music, and it's like exactly like this.
This is like the
There's
Mario
a part like
paint,
that in like Skyward Sword too, but it wasn't as good.
Right. Well, in Super Mario RPG, like you literally have to arrange tadpoles in such a way, and then make music, which is one of my favorite parts of that game.
I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite cover pages.
Yeah, it's awesome.
In years.
It looks great.
I love
You
it.
say that a lot, Steve.
I do not.
By the way, Nami's here as well. I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody noticed. She's sitting on a stump.
There's also a frog, a very familiar looking frog. I wonder if we'll see that frog.
P.S. I'll find my frog.
Also,
Terry.
another.
I love how skinny Brooke's legs get as the perspective just sort of draws it downward.
That's foreshortening, Sam.
Yeah.
Forgot.
There's no meat on them bones.
I only know some art words.
I do want to point out that
Yeah, art words. That's it.
I do like the attention to detail, like Brooke walking on water, even if it's a little puddle.
Mm.
Doesn't he have to run
He's
on
feeling
water?
weak. Yeah.
Maybe this puddle's not that deep. I feel like that's a little nod to him running on water, I should say. He's had in the past.
Brooke is a lot like Jesus.
Oh,
Resurrected,
I think that a lot.
walk on
you know?
water.
Oh, because he's dead? Is that like...
Came back to
And came back to life.
the dead.
And the fact that he's fictional.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm kidding.
is,
Jesus is probably alive at some point.
he can play some bitch and guitar solos too.
Yeah, he can. It's Jesus. He's
He walks among us.
The Soul King.
Yeah.
the Jew. And they both, I guess, are... Yeah, he's like the king of the souls and king of the Jews. Yeah. The Jew king.
moving on.
Yeah.
Please.
This is a recap.
First page for the Vinsmoke guest room. On the wall there is paintings of spades, and one of them is spying on them. At one of the brothers. Is that Ichichi?
Let's see.
The one on the far
That's
right.
where Reiju is.
No, that's
Yeah,
Yonji.
that's Yonji saying that.
Oh,
Yonji's
Yonji's
one,
yeah.
You guys
Okay.
got to learn their names based on their hair.
No, I don't.
It's
I
really
was
not
looking
that
at
hard.
ETG, but I didn't know he was talking about the one talking.
Not at all a difficult thing.
Black tea, green tea. They're still there. They're hanging out. But no one seems to know where Reiju is. And she went out earlier. And they sort of shrug it off and ask, "Oh, by the way, Father, where are the two lovebirds, dripping with contempt, is going to live after the wedding?" And he responds with, "Germa, of course. This girl needs to be our hostage, or who knows what sort of demands they'll make of us." Like, man, you're being awful presumptuous, man. These people are pirates, remember? Like, you seem to be forgetting that at the moment.
Just so you know, I don't know if they have ears, but the walls definitely have eyes. So kind of watch what you say here, buddy.
But they do sort of, Chip and Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts. Wouldn't Big Mom want a hostage too? That Ichichi reminds him, is like, "Don't be stupid. What would threatening to kill Sanji mean to us? It wouldn't mean anything." They all have a good laugh over it. It's like, I can't wait to live with Sanji again. Someone beat the shit out of him, probably.
God, poor Sanji.
In case you need an update, these guys are dickholes.
Yep, pretty much. But in Brulee's house in the Miro world, there's fine wild game being served today. And hope everyone is nice and hungry, and they are starving. So I ask her to cut the rope, and it's Carrot. She says, "Eek, no, don't eat me." And the gentleman crocodile he's positively ravenous. His tongue is hanging out all over the place. You see Chopper's all tied up, and Brulee is. She sealed her own downfall, he thinks to himself. That's not actually a carrot. It's just a frog that Brulee turned into a carrot with her powers.
This addresses that thing from a couple chapters, because Steven was talking about how he didn't know how to translate a sound effect.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Oda, he really got me here, and we had he used an alternate kind of like a. Not the main frog sound effect that everyone would immediately assume was a frog, but something that was very similar. And fortunately, I think it still comes across like, if you just think of a frog going, grr, 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 that's pretty much a croak. But yeah, I was like, my very first thought when I saw it, the previous chapter was like, is there a frog in this scene? No, there's no frog. I mean, there's no frogs in all of these minions around them. There's no homie frogs here. So I guess that's just some weird unsourced noise. And no, it turns out it is literally a frog hiding in plain sight.
When did this happen?
Wasn't it very early on when all of them got turned into different copies?
Yeah, apparently that was it.
Did that happen? I don't even remember anymore.
In the woods.
Because Luffy came back and found all the copies.
Oh my God, that's right. What a coincidence!
What a coincidence! That thing actually did happen.
That both of them just so happened to be in the same place at the same time in this world of mirrors. Where down is up, left is right. Dogs and cats living together. That's not so
frogs
special.
and bunnies.
Sorry, I kind of forgot about that with all the copies and stuff because I was just like, can you show your work, Oda? Oh, okay. No, I'm not.
Don't think about any of this too hard, I think, is the moral of the story here.
No, the moral of the story here is wait a year for the anime and you'll get half an episode dedicated towards it.
So, Steve, I think you're next.
So we have the ferret, I'd say. That's a frog and a carrot. Or a Carog.
Cog.
Carog sounds too close to Kellogg, so I'm not going to do that one. And as it's pleading not to be dipped into this stew, Chopper saying the real carrot is hiding above in the ceiling, and she's putting on a voice like, "Wow, save me, Chabra!" And Chopper continues, "Even as our bait, I don't want the poor frog to get cooked," which is very compassionate. All these animals.
Chopper can talk to animals, so I guess he has a different relationship with them than.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, like he eats meat, right?
Does he?
Eat meat
I don't know.
too, but the minks eat frogs, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have fur, so
yeah.
I like the insinuation here that Carrot is like a really good ventriloquist. Like she can throw her voice, and like the whole time she's just sitting there like waiting for the frog to croak, and then going like, "Oh no, please let me help!" Like every time she hears the frog saying something, so that they don't catch on. It's so weird.
As Chopper continues to analyze, as we get like a wider shot of Brulee's house with all these crazy cast of characters, it says there are 16 enemies in this house. The ones who are trouble are, and he looks around. We have Randolph, who was the talking rabbit, not a mink, who's about to cut the rope, and he goes, "Here goes, Lady Brulee." I don't know if this is his first time talking. I don't remember him talking previously, so
he's talked. He talked, yeah, because he had that duck season, rabbit season moment with his crane or whatever.
Well, apparently I don't remember shit from like 2 months ago. We have Brulee, who goes, wee. That cute little face of yours is going to get all burned.
Your pretty little face is going to hell.
And then we have the Aristocroc.
Have we gotten this name before?
No, that's new.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you, Disney.
Family walks into a talent agency.
The Aristocrocs.
Who I guess might as well just sound like Gilbert Gottfried's like, "I'm starving." And then Chopper introduces a new challenger, and that weird smokestack man, Diesel. He's like, and he just says, "She's gonna struggle. We've got to keep the lip on tight."
Isn't this a
Diesel
filler character?
Trying to make him sound like Diesel.
Shining Time Station.
And then this is Carrot narrating her own attack, just like she goes into the wind-up end, and as Randolph is about to chop the rope, she goes, "Yeah," as she throws something.
I think it's a rock.
Just a rock?
I think it's a rock.
Just a plain old rock?
It hits him right in the spear, I think.
Yeah.
Hits Randolph, he goes down, yow, and Brulee's like, "What? What are you doing, Randolph?" And Diesel's like, "Lady Brulee, someone's above the ceiling."
Shouted Diesel.
And we see Carrot jumps down and grabs a fake Carrot, and much to Brulee's shock, she's like, "There are 2 bunny girls?"
Why is she so shocked? Like, you did this.
It's your own damn fault.
Well, you're like, oh my God.
Apparently she doesn't go back and read chapters just like me, so.
2 bunny girls. This isn't a mirror world. This is just Sam's dreams.
I honestly, God, I knew this was gonna.
You did it to yourself, buddy.
I've done this to myself, yeah. So we can turn to the next page where Carrot is kicking this big pot of boiled water over with a big "Hee-ah!" and Brulee is just like, really terrified, like, "Oh no, anything but that." And we can presume that the boiling water hits her, and we get this like steaming sound coming out of the house. Is like the whole house is being like warped because like it's just like a big cartoon.
Well, it is made out of food, isn't it? That's the whole gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a big.
If she had melted
crackers.
like in Wizard of Oz, it would have been great.
Or in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just 3rd-degree burns.
I love how
Big ol' pot of dip.
slapstick is. Yeah, I love how slapstick is. Very editary.
So while Brulee is yowing about her new permanent, I imagine, burns, Chopper turns into Brain Point and then eats a rumble ball. So we know where this is going. Carrot is carrying the fake Carrot, the frog, away, and you see the whole crew, all Brulee and all of Big Mom's crew here are just sort of yelping in the background.
Looks horrible.
And Randolph is on the attacks. Him and his crew are saying, "Oh no, hurry! Let's save Lady Brulee." And this is when Carrot launches her attack, the electrical Luna, and it's like a big electro shock. We still don't really know where the electro from the minks comes from, do we? Like they haven't mentioned that that's like static or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think the assumption is that it's because they're so fuzzy and furry that they attract a lot of static electricity.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot, but like I wish it would have been addressed by this point.
Do you think Chopper can learn it?
Yeah, really? Like yeah, makes sense.
There's a lot of questions I have about Electro.
That'd be pretty
And then
good.
we get at the bottom of the page here, we get like this big foreboding shot of like monster chopper sort of like growing out of the frame, and he's all shadowed out, and like it's all big and dramatic. But then like the next panel, it's just like a faraway shot, and it looks very casual as
The Aristocroc
monster chopper is.
the Aristocroc is still just as big as him, so it kind of just seems funny. And
Yeah,
No, I love this because he sneaks up like on one side and he roars, and the Aristocroc looks over one shoulder and he sneaks over the other side,
yeah.
like over here.
I love that Aristocroc.
Or is it over
like,
here?
He's not even trying to help Brule. He's still
He's waiting for his dinner.
food, that's all.
So Chopper is grabbing the Aristocroc by his tail, and he's getting ready to flip it over, and Aristocroc just barely notices before.
And all the other randos that are just gonna get squashed, they yell out for the croc, and they're like, "It's a monster!" As Chopper kind of pulls what like Frankie did to Funk Freed all those years ago, just grabbing by tail or trunk and just slamming them over their shoulder, and Chopper in the process squashes all these other guys like the cat, the black cat man, and
the beanie hat
dude. Nice little panel, like the like all those teeth. Poor Aristocroc, he just wanted food. Didn't put any effort into anything whatsoever.
his hat never comes off.
And Chopper, more reminiscent of Ennie's Lobby, just lets out a big roar in victory as we get like pretty cool shot. See higher up, you go on Chopper, more black ink, so it just looks very foreboding. And now we see that Brule's knocked out, Randolph's knocked out, Aristocroc is knocked out, and all that leaves is that strange new guy, Diesel, who says, "Oh boy, we got a real situation here. Better report to Mama."
Shouted Diesel quite worriedly.
Mad.
And Diesel proceeds to run out of there, and his whole process of moving his legs is spinning the wheels on his sides and puffing out smoke with a big toot toot as he gallivants away.
Hoochoo.
And what follows this is possibly one of the best single pages of physical comedy in One Piece history. We have Diesel, who laughs. His laugh takes after his train motif. Shoot-toot-toot-toot-toot. You fools! Once I get running, there's nothing in the world that can...
Shouted Diesel right before he was interrupted.
By Carrot, who immediately, like, you don't even see her, sneaking up on him. Like, she's just immediately there, giving lie to his statement that once he gets running, there's nothing in the world that can catch him. He's immediately caught, and he's confused by this, and he gets the classic guess who with the hands over the eyes. He does.
Eris?
He doesn't know what's going on, and he's going, look out, I can't see.
Shouted Diesel, very, very cross.
And yeah, so basically this guy who apparently is like so obsessed with trains, he just does train cosplay, and pretends that he is a train. Immediately, I mean, I know that this, the mirror world is kind of twisty and turny, but it looks like he basically just immediately does a hard left and crashes directly into a wall and knocks himself out. And that is that. Chopper is, watching, satisfied. We did it. We managed to wipe out Brule's forces.
He looks
And
so adorable.
The frog is happy.
Yeah.
The frog is happy. He's returned to frog status, triumphant on top of Brule's face there. And we get Carrot, who is she is triumphant as well. Chobro! And she's all
sparkle.
Yeah, she's all dusty and dirty from smashing into the wall, but she's fine.
No, it's not necessarily from the wall. It's from like hanging on the smokestack, I thought.
Yeah, I guess that could be too. But yeah, apparently this is the end of the of all of the Brule nonsense. Except it doesn't. I don't know if this really makes full sense because they knocked her out, but apparently the mirror stuff is all still there. Like this just exists. This is like the mirror dimension that exists regardless of whether Brule is conscious or not. So apparently this belongs in a different class from Sugar's powers, who infamously required an entire story arc thing to knock her out so that they could overcome that just in the an arc or two ago. So
and also to talk about Enies Lobby for the third time makes me think, like, say if you like hopped in between doors with Bluno, like in that goopy green area that we saw like in the anime.
Door World.
If if he was knocked out, what would that plane of existence still exist?
I don't know. I feel like we're asking some very existential questions that are probably dangerous to get into. But
I'm sure they're just like infinite worlds. There's a door world. There's a mirror world. There's a dog food
there's
world.
Infinite worlds, Morty. Sorry.
If the world that we live on is just part of the dream of an ant floating in a puddle, if it wakes up, we stop existing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, this is like the Beetlejuice world with all the
checkerboard.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently, I mean, this is basically what Oda needs to do. Like, all he needs to do is have Chopper say, now we can travel all over the island through the mirrors. Okay, there you go. There's the ground rules. Like, the mirrors still work. They can do, they just have to find the right mirror to do what they need to do.
Dealt with this battle in under half a chapter.
Yeah, no, I love this part. I guess we can save talking more about this for the end, because now we promptly shift over to Sanji's room, and kind of similar to that scene previously where Pudding had like the weird little servant who was not really focused on very much. He also has this guard here who has like a javelin or a lance or something. And his guard is, hey, sir, Straw Hat Luffy and the cat burglar are in chains, and Soul King and a male mink. They're causing trouble all over the place, etc. He's basically giving Sanji this whole report about his former companions, and Sanji does not necessarily want to hear it. And he just wants to know, did you bring the ingredients I asked for? And this guy's like, oh, these? I mean, sure, but if you wanted food, I could have just brought you some burgers or something. He's basically he's a little confused. But of course, Sanji wants to use these ingredients to cook something in his guest kitchen there, because Pudding didn't show up for the last meal when they were, I guess, supposed to be together. So he's going to be a nice guy and cook something for her, because apparently she's not feeling well. And I should point out here, just for edification, that this guy, this guard actually has some weird little accent thing, and I tried to recreate it at first, but I wasn't really sure. He uses the word nasu a lot in his stuff, which is the word for eggplant. And like, I was like, okay, well, his head kind of looks like an eggplant. He's got the rounded chin and a little pointier on the top, but I just wasn't sure. And he's not an official character. We've never seen him before. Like, he's treated in this kind of offhand manner. And so I was trying to do like okay, what kind of puns can you make with eggplants and like aubergines? So I was like, oh, they're all ober there. I could example a meal for you or something. But it was just like it was too much of a stretch. And so we were like, all right, let's just take it out for now. And if this guy ever develops into something more important, we can try again. But
for now, he'll be known as eggplant parmesan.
Yeah,
Gene Parmesan.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a reference to Sanji's childhood nickname, Baby Eggplant?
Oh yeah.
It could be, but it's just like it's so oblique the way that it currently stands that we were just like, if we can't make it really obvious, then it's just going to be confusing. So,
Sure.
yeah. But there you go.
And so then we go over to the treasure repository where Brooke is still stealing things from right under Big Mom's crew's nose. He finds the keys after he's beaten everyone in there, or most of them in there. And then this guy, who looks like a Viking, sort of.
Dungeon Zhao.
I was about to
There
say,
we go.
he looks like Don Shinjao.
I'm digging the beard.
Have some mustache wax there.
He's just like, oh, you've made a mess of things here, which, I mean, that's a really odd way of putting it. That's a pretty understatement. And then I love this little mini panel of just zoom in on Brooke with his sunglasses on, with just like the speed lines. Looks fantastic as he does his. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that one shot in Skypiea when like Zorro was like saving Robin and like they did that weird thing with his eyes like kind of streaking across the screen. If anyone remembers that.
No, I don't remember that, but I'm glad you guys remembered. I'm glad you guys pointed this out because I noticed this too and I really liked it. Reminds me of I think it was film Z when Luffy uses hockey and he has like the red eyes and they kind of
Yeah, similar to that.
Like,
that looks really good.
Like taillights and Akira, they just do that thing. It's pretty cool.
Vapor trails.
Mm-hmm.
What does Brooke's sunglasses even hook onto? He doesn't have ears.
It's got a little piece of tape.
It's not even
Double-sided tape on the back.
Spirit gum.
can't even pinch Nez because he has no Nez.
Right.
Well,
So we see Brooke use his swallow banderol, where he basically cuts right through this guy, and he uses the ice powers of hell that he has from the spirit realm, which I always love seeing Brooke use that. And then the next panel is how he asks his partner to risk death itself for him, because Pedro asking him to be a decoy, that he would get in here, and he has to, in honor of that, at least get what he came for. And Sparkles with the sunglasses, of course. Wearing sunglasses indoors, what a dick.
It's time skip Brooke.
Time skip Brooke. Otherwise, he will lose all face. But of course, he has no face. Skull joke.
He just assumes that the other guy is like thinking that or something.
yeah.
It's like a cell phone.
So yeah, he basically demolishes these people. And then he just is just like, gotta hurry, and Ollie's outie.
Now you know he's going into the cage where the road poneglyph is, up in the second floor there. Yeah.
He's Ollie's innie.
Are those all like different poneglyphs or?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the one on the top and then the two on the bottom were the normal poneglyphs that she has.
Yeah. Which one did Jinbei give her? Did he give her the road one?
No,
No.
it was one of the normal ones.
Okay, I was like,
That would have been a pretty bigger deal.
That would have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, that'd be like, thanks a lot, Jinbei. Why did you give it to her?
Jinbei wants to join the crew, but gave the road poneglyph to Big Mom.
Luffy suddenly changes his mind.
Yeah.
So at the top of the next page, we have Smoothie turning around, and we have the One Piece podcast's favorite punctuation mark, the interrobang. And she notices that Big Mom has shown up, and she says, "Oh, you definitely didn't need to come, Mama. I can totally handle." And Big Mom is livid, and says, "Out of my way, Smoothie. Who dares to interfere with my fun?"
You're just gonna roll right over her Kool-Aid, banning it into the room?
Yeah, she definitely just bursts through the wall. Like,
Kool-Aid
what's funny to me is that like they didn't think to just blow the door down to begin with. It
is an important room. There's a lot of important stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay, but seriously, like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, she Kool-Aid mans it into the room as Ed says, and Brooke is in the middle of writing his name on the poneglyph, or other assorted graffiti like El Barto,
A dick.
El Solo,
Borf.
Borf. My
Wait,
son is also named Borf.
Could Big Mom just have put a soul into the door and have it open?
I don't know if her powers work like that.
We don't really know how her powers work.
Yeah.
But
I
she
guess
has,
like
the singing doors and stuff from
door. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that could.
Like the wall had a face
Yeah.
on page 1. So probably she could have.
Well, Mama, why didn't you just put a soul in the door? I used the last one I had to put it in the wall. I'm a wall. I don't open. I just thought it was funny that, like, out of all the things to not have a soul into, like, that should be like a complaint that Big Mom has. Like, oh, only there was a soul in this thing.
Yeah. Well, this was battery operated. So she basically walks in on Brooke as he's doing something, and he turns to realize that, oh God, Big Mom is here, and she looks at him with a quite delicious look on her face, saying, what kind of creature is this?
I love Big Mom so much.
She's a good one. Meanwhile,
it's actually, I was going to say, it's kind of interesting because based on the last few chapters, like you definitely got the impression that, like, they tend to handle stuff for her, like, minor things like this, because they're always like, oh, Big Mom's not going to bother coming out here for the likes of you. Like, she didn't even go to like talk to Luffy in person, but this is apparently, this is a big enough deal that she's going to go directly, and that's why they're kind of surprised when she actually shows up.
Yeah, she could care less about the poneglyph, but that tomate box, she wants all the sweet tomate inside.
It's a surprise for her. That she's looking forward to, like, her present. So that's the thing she cares about most.
Yeah.
At this point,
I feel like at this point in her life, anything that's a surprise, anything that's like it seems she's pretty ho-hum about everything else, including her kids. So you're like, oh, you gotta.
Well, you have that many kids, and it doesn't feel so special anymore.
Yeah, but then when you have a croquembouche, that's the highlight of your year.
Have you had a croquembouche? Come on.
All right. Anyway, so we're taken to Whole Cake Chateau Courtyard, where the chess peacekeepers are pushing Pedro in, as per Baron Tamago's orders last chapter, to corner him in the garden. So after all the chess peacekeepers have trapped him in the courtyard, and it appears that we have some other folk there too. There's a guy that kind of looks like Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast.
Wasn't he one of the kings? Mm-hmm. The kings of the chess peacekeepers?
I don't think so. I'm thinking of the one that's on the far left in that panel.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the Heat Miser also.
I want to point out too that this courtyard, like, it is technically a courtyard, but I think this is indoors because you can see
the clouds are painted on.
Yeah, it's doing like a Laboon thing.
That's right. Yeah, they're actually that door is actually a portal to the inside of Laboon's stomach. So
that's how they're connected.
It's all connected. Hashtag Marvel MCU. So Pedro is 100% cornered into the garden, and he goes, "Damn, what are they playing at?" And then of course he turns to see Baron Tamago himself, saying, "Long time no see, Captain Pedro of the Nox Pirates. As an adversary, I have always respected your skill. So, Baron Tamago." Let's battle the accents. And now, when we meet face to face, the scars over our left eyes twitch with rage. And they have a really cool standoff. And next page, and on to Ed's flamboyantly French.
Now tell me, why would the man who clung to life so fiercely 5 years ago return to repeat his mistake? After all, you have barely any life remaining to begin with. For on that fateful day, Mama stole 50 years of your life from you. And Baron Tamago's scar looks more grotesque than usual here.
It's fucking really gross.
Well, because is this the first time we see it without the glasses on?
Oh, yeah. I think that's his monocle. Or not his monocle, his glasses, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, like, I don't think we knew for a fact that he was straight up missing an eye until now.
And Baron Tamago looks like Jeffrey Tambor. Like, every time I see him, I'm like, he looks like somebody, and that like he looks like
the chin.
Yeah, he looks like Hank Kingsley from the Larry Sanders Show. Like,
Hey now.
hey now.
Okay. But Paige removes the hair from over his scar, and it's also pretty gross. But he responds, "That's right. I'm under no illusions here. I don't intend to return home alive."
Dun, dun, dun.
That'd be super funny if he revealed, he pulled back his hair and it was just like Sanji. just Sanji's face.
Wow.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's grotesque.
I can only assume that both of these scars are from one another.
That's basically
that is the
implied.
implication. Yeah.
Like I can imagine that they both gouged their eyes out at the exact same time.
You do.
No, I'm more badass.
Fair's fair.
Yeah. But outside of Whole Cake Chateau, it's still the sweet rain is coming down. But we go inside.
Chocolate
somewhere.
rain. Have we made that joke yet?
Well, it's syrup rain, so.
I know, but chocolate rain.
Yeah, we
Remember
can't
that?
do that joke. Can't do that joke because nobody on this podcast turns their head away from the microphone to breathe.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's a shame we didn't make this reference months ago when he followed me on Twitter for like a day.
No, he followed me. Yeah, he followed me on Twitter too.
I think me too.
What's
Wow, you guys have had
Shameless.
zombie experiences.
Chocolate rain.
it's syrup rain though.
Yeah.
Candy
But
rain.
back in the palace, someone's got a bloody handprint. There's dripping blood all over a corridor somewhere in the palace. She's slumping over, and it's Reiju. She has been attacked. She's bloody all over. It looks like blood. Could be chocolate syrup. Who knows?
It's syrup.
Could be
What is
chocolate
this,
rain
Psycho?
from this.
Yeah. But yeah, someone's messed her up pretty bad, and that's where we end the chapter.
Oh my
and
god.
that's where we'll be
Man.
for 2 weeks.
We got
Goddamn.
a dinner murder mystery. Well, she's not
Oh,
murdered,
yeah.
but-
Is a period joke to
Oh,
Oh, by all means, make one.
Well, as long as you make it, I
Yeah.
think we're in the clear.
all right.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's where the blood
It's Shark
looks
Week.
like. Yep.
Well, luckily she's surrounded by chocolate, so.
Oh man.
Wow, I thought this was so suspenseful, and of course, by the time we get to doing a manga recap, we're all like, "It's chocolate."
What? No, because women crave chocolate generally during times of crampular stress.
Oh boy. Well,
Okay. Good chapter this week.
Yeah, man.
Jill, what were your overall thoughts? You didn't get to hear as much from you.
Oh yeah, no, I really liked it. It's nice to see some of the considered to be less of the heavy hitters on the Straw Hat crew really kicking ass. We got a lot of that from Chopper and Brooke the past couple of this chapter especially, and last chapter as well. Especially Chopper. I don't know why, for some reason I thought that Randolph was going to be like a really big bad. I don't know, it must have been this like mysterious introduction, but Chopper destroyed that rabbit. So that was really great to see. And I think we are seeing them like level up a little bit, because I remember Chopper using his monster point couldn't move afterwards. And now he can. So that's good news.
I didn't really think about that.
Yeah. And I'm really excited. I mean, Big Mom's cornered Brooke, so I don't know how he's going to try to get out of that, or try to smooth talk her. I don't know. She needs.
I don't know. I think she might. She might fall in love with him. Who knows?
There we go. Soul King and Queen. I'm down. Then we
Seems like
have.
she's got a lot of types,
Yeah.
considering
That's
her
true.
children.
And
oh
I mean,
dear.
I didn't expect this reveal with Baron Tamago and Pedro, but it's actually very exciting. I'm interested to see their rivalry. None of them are wearing eye patches, so Oda is still holding out for that.
yeah.
They're both missing damn eyes, Oda.
Apparently,
Like,
it's not enough to miss an eye now to garner an eye patch.
It's got to be like an empty
Yeah.
socket or something.
Well, I mean, eye patch is exclusively a fashion statement at this point.
Yeah. Apparently so.
It's still gonna be Sanji. And then this last panel with Reiju, I don't know. It's really weird. We're gonna have to see what it is, who betrayed her, or or maybe she picked a fight with someone. Hell, maybe it was can't remember her name. Pudding? I don't know. Who knows?
One of the most important characters in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Although that actually kind of makes sense with the fact like Reiju was set on making sure that the marriage happened, but if Pudding was running away and like they had a confrontation. I don't know.
Jill, were you on the good Pudding or evil Pudding side?
What do you mean? Like, I didn't listen to the last episode. Do you mean like if she's currently?
So we were voting. Like, do you think Pudding is good, or do you think she's hiding it and she's evil?
I want her to be evil, but I'm pretty sure she's good. I want her to be a piece of shit.
But she's actually a piece of chocolate.
Or you could go by my argument, where like maybe she doesn't realize that stabbing Reiju is like such a bad thing. She doesn't know any better. She's like, sorry.
She's like, I'm gonna take out Germa myself, and then that's gonna work well.
Desensitized to violence.
Sorry.
We've seen that Big Mom freely just gives kitchen knives to her little children to stab each other with. So
yeah, what if it's just one of those kids that just stabbed Reiju?
And she literally has punk kids. Literally, they're punks.
Yeah.
Sam, what did you think?
I think that especially with these like last few pages, like the intrigue going on in this arc right now is really incredibly strong. Just trying to imagine where Pedro's story is going to go, because he's probably not going to die. Like whatever Big Mom did to him is probably going to get like undone or something. But just like who hurt Reiju, like what's Pudding up to from like last chapter. There's just like there's so many questions about like what's happening and what are we going to learn. And I remember just like 3 or 4 weeks ago already, I was like kind of musing on Twitter, like, man, I'm not on the edge of my seat with this arc right now. I wonder why that is. And now like immediately the chapter after that, it's been like the exact roller coaster that I want.
Oda could feel it somewhere. He was like, a little boy is losing his faith in One Piece.
And then immediately, yeah. Like the last 3 chapters have just been like awesome to me. And I do not know where this is going. And it feels completely natural. Like this, the constant twists and turns and secrets and surprises. They don't feel like they're just there to dick me around. I really want to know what happens.
I really wonder if, because when we had Moria, whose powers seem a lot like Big Mom's, if the shadows could be returned easily to the other to their owners, I wonder if like can the souls be taken and returned back to the owners, and then it gets the 50 years back? And if so, is it going to be someone important that Pedro's like soul or years have been put into?
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I definitely think of. In the same way that like the ice fruit is the strong version of the snow fruit, I think like Big Mom's soul devil fruit is the strong version of Moria's fruit.
Or like the light fruit and the lightning fruit, kind of.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add that sort of my thoughts on the chapter. We'll get back. I'm not going to cut off everyone else, but I just wanted to say that Germa has really like prided themselves on being ahead of the game and being smarter than everyone else. Like even trying to outsmart Big Mom and like be the big winners in this situation. Like they're getting they don't know what's coming to them at the end of this chapter. Like they weren't expecting this. Like they're gonna have to deal with it and like actually do problem solving at this point, because they've sort of been like they've been pre-planning and like doing everything to plan, and they think they're gonna come out ahead. But right now they are they're in for a surprise. So I really enjoyed that. That's what I wanted to say. Let's see, who wants to talk next?
See, if you were Zach, you would just assign it to somebody.
he got a couple of us, and then he just gave up.
Oh, okay. Well then. Yeah, this is a great chapter. Pacing is amazing. I really. It's amazing that it's going so fast, and yet so much is still happening without making it seem like it's rushed. To me, Oda still has time to throw in a new character like Diesel and still make it like a really fun scene. And yeah, toot toot. What I wonder, what's gonna happen to Brooke. Like that's mostly like my thing.
Oh, he's gonna beat
like, what?
Big Mom in a fight.
Like,
And then they
like
get married.
It's all gonna go according to plan.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got to at least, hold his own a little bit against Big Mom, because this is what I've been waiting for. I've waited to see like what Brooke's soul powers mean against Big Mom's powers. So that's
I'm really-
basically what
True.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see her, because she has her reaction just to like, oh, a living skeleton, but like to see his soul powers. That's gonna be really interesting to see how she reacts to that with her own like things to it.
I personally
Yeah.
think.
Will she want to?
I think a great
What do you
bit-
what do you personally think?
Yeah, it's like there's a difference
Personally.
between me thinking and then personally thinking. I think it would be really funny to see a gag of Big Mom just take Brooke's soul, and it's like I will take all of your soul. It is mine now, and it just goes right back into Brooke's body.
Well, it's not necessarily soul; it's lifespan. Like, but he's already dead. He died
Yeah.
and came back. Does he
Ooh.
really have any lifespan left?
Man.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah,
It's questionable,
You know?
I guess.
Well, I mean, that's the exact reason why Oda would pit these two against each other, right?
Right,
Perfect.
right. I feel like either Brooke's going to do something awesome with his soul powers to escape her and avoid trouble, or it's like the next time we see him, he's going to be in like the next page of that little book with Luffy and Nami. Yeah.
No.
I want to. I want to see that. Like,
Do we think
even if
Big-
he does get shit stomped, I want to see him get shit stomped, and why?
Do we think Big Mom would want to keep Brooke in one of her books, or do you think she wants to keep him around to make a few skeleton babies?
Well,
Skeleton babies.
No.
well, take a Brooke. It's in a book.
Could she animate baby? Like not babies? Oh my god! Could she
Hey,
animate
let's not
skeletons?
talk about how Big Mom makes babies.
Yeah.
I think if Brooke
I
is
think
going
we should
anywhere,
talk
he's going to
more
be in one of
about how
those.
Big Mom makes babies.
He's going to end up in those creature books, if anywhere.
Well, could she animate
Yeah.
skeletons? Because they're not living anymore.
I think if she could, we'd see them running around.
Well, didn't they say what was it like? The souls can't go into the dead, or
They can't. Yeah, well,
Right.
they can't go into people that already have souls. Or, I don't know. That was
I forget.
don't know.
Yeah, she mentioned that in a previous chapter. I can't recall what the exact detail was though.
Steven,
What you
so
gonna do to Brooke? It's so great.
what are your overall thoughts on the chapter?
Yeah, no. To echo what Dude said about the pacing, I thought the pacing of this chapter was really phenomenal. Like I loved that, he had been kind of setting up this mirror world thing over the last few chapters, like 1 or 2 pages at a time, like just very briefly. And I love that he basically just wrapped it all up in one fell swoop, because this is kind of what I want to see. If we're going to do an arc and have all of the characters play a meaningful role and still have it be paced at a reasonable length, I feel like this is how I want to see him handle, the non like super important members. So like just have basically, Chopper and Carrot, let them do something where they seem really awesome. Like they just totally wipe out these guys who are way overmatched. It's fun. It's funny. And it's meaningful to advancing the plot. Like I really enjoyed the way that he executed that. And, it was just very entertaining to read. Following that, like the way that he kind of got things way more dramatic and imposing by the end of the chapter was also really impressive. Like you go from there to Brooke just sort of toying with these guards, but then immediately he's in big trouble. We get this really dramatic showdown between Pedro and Baron Tamago, and then like the page with Reiju at the end is definitely one of the best. Like just kind of not a cold open, but it's like a cold close. It's basically like the sort of thing that would happen in the last 30 seconds of an otherwise really boring episode of Lost, where it's just like, that's what I was waiting for. Just like the immediate like smash cut to like, oh wow, something crazy has happened. Things are afoot that we do not know about, and it's anyone's guess as to who did this and what it means. And he's just, it's like he knew that he was doing this over the holiday breaks. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna dangle them over this cliff because they don't know what to do with themselves for the next 2 weeks.
And, Steve, this is an appropriate place to ask you this, but I saw Greg ask Sasaki-san of he works on Twitter about what is a concise way of saying cliffhanger in Japanese, because he couldn't think of one.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's a term called there's a term hiki, or like manga no hiki, which basically just literally means pull, and it's sort of like the what keeps you. It's like the draw of what keeps you, interested in what will happen next. I don't think it's necessarily as explicit in terms of like the cliffhanger, like by the edge of your seat. The primal need to understand what it means sort of aspect. But I know that word does exist as far as as far as we would consider it.
Interesting. And Steve, what were your thoughts on the chapter?
Oh, with what's left, like I think one of the best parts about this chapter was how well paced it was. Even though, like, despite about 3 important events happening in this chapter, it all was given enough time to breathe and be carried out. Personally, I liked the Brulee house the most. There was a lot of good bits, a lot of funky looking characters, and I think we've all become quite a fan of Aristocroc, and Diesel's kind of is rising up in the ranks for me. Big Daddy Cool, he might be known.
Yep.
Gone Too Soon, as he might be known from me.
Right into the wall.
Other than that, yeah, I think the pairing of Big Mom versus Brooke just writes itself. There's so many possibilities of how it could go. I don't want to see Brooke just, I'm in the jail cell too, or I'm in a book.
I can't imagine that's what they're going to do.
I sure as hell hope not. Or we still have Smoothie. We there's Smoothie and Big Mom, like 2 characters who kind of are like the foils, or more so Brooke is the foil to their powers. And oh man, I almost forgot about Smoothie, and like this could just be set up for something to happen later when they break out. But I just don't want to see a cut right to Brooke being captured. That would break my heart. Baron Tamago and Pedro scars look nasty, and another scar that's gonna look nasty is that cut that Raichu got. The end. It looks like she was like stabbed in the leg, or just attacked on her leg, because that's all where the blood is coming from.
I'm imagining it's like lower abdomen or something.
Right in the Germa symbol.
No, there's no blood there. Like, looks like it's all coming from that 6.
So, do we have any theories about who is responsible, aside from possibly pudding?
I kind of like the pudding one, but I don't know.
I think everyone's reaction.
Capone.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think Ash was wondering. Ash from our editorial staff. He was wondering if like maybe she's inside Capone right now, or.
Can we see? I can't see any portraits of Capone on the wall, so we can't be sure.
Dead giveaway. But yeah, it does kind of look like your basic, inside your castle. It doesn't look like it's. Wow, it doesn't look like it's part of.
No.
Whole Cake
Yeah,
Island.
there's nothing. There's nothing that
doesn't.
distinguishes it one way or the other.
The lamps don't have faces, nor do the walls.
Yeah, I also feel like though, if this could be explained any number of ways, but I also feel like if it was inside Capone, like where are his guards, or where is he? Why is she all alone, or did she attack them and escape, or how does that fit together?
Well, we got to think about this too, like the beginning of the chapter. Judge is talking all like, "Oh no, we're going to bring pudding with us, because we have to have an ace up our sleeve." And I have the feeling that Capone is working for himself. He's working on his own.
Yeah.
Wow. Now
he's trying to become Pirate King, right?
Yeah.
They did say that if they take pudding as their hostage, that won't they want a hostage too?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's Capone now. I'm all for that. I'm backing that up. Otherwise, it's just a little girl with the knife that wanted the knife. And
Yep.
I love
that's why
that.
she doesn't get the knife.
I feel like Oda's done a really good job of going back and forth between the two sides and kind of messy, because at least from our perspective as a podcast, we've always been like, oh, well, maybe the Vinsmokes, maybe Big Mom is the real, or maybe Big Mom will be an ally, maybe the Vinsmokes are the real villains. And I feel like he's been doing a good job of sort of balancing them out and not making it super clear as to who is the greater evil, at least as far as the reader sympathy is concerned, or who is the greater danger or whatever. All we know for sure is that things look pretty bad between them. Like, this is not the happy marriage that Big Mom at least outwardly pretends that it is.
I really appreciate that this arc, a lot of it's about family doesn't define who you are. Because obviously Sanji and Reiju not quite in line with their family's goals, always Reiju a little bit more, and then Pudding and Lola not defined by Big Mom being an asshole.
In a lot of ways, One Piece is a lot like the Fast and the Furious.
Oh god.
Go on.
No.
Yeah.
Saw family.
It's gonna go on forever, and there's gonna be end to the sequels.
Care to repeat that, Ed?
One of the main characters is gonna die.
It's all about family.
That's not what I heard the first time. Is someone gonna
Diesel's in it?
It's Diesel. Oh,
Vin Diesel said with much swagger.
Oh, the only thing we're missing this chapter is Diesel running at full speed, yelling, "I'll live for this shit." Wow, no, now I'm starting to think, what if this was just Capone just orchestrating a bunch of this stuff for Germa and Big Mom's crew to just tear each other apart, and then he's like, more room for me as an emperor now.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, you could go really far down the rabbit hole with conspiracy theories at this exact point in the arc, for sure.
I'd really love to see that. Because, oh man, Capone would be so... because Capone has gotten, I'm sure for you guys as well, he's gotten way more popular in terms of you ranking the supernovas or the worst generation. Wow, this would put him so far up there. Oh man, that would be really cool. I would really like to see that.
I would like to point out on these last 2 pages, there are 3 people and only 3 eyes.
What does it mean?
All right.
What does it mean?
Pudding Triclops confirmed.
Yeah, they all have very bad depth perception.
Ed, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I think you guys pretty much got it all on. So why don't we move on to the anime recap?
Let's.
This is the anime recap for episode 768, the third one, Raizo of the Mist, the Ninja Appears. It's a tough title to make sound natural. Today with us we have, as usual, we have Ed again. Hey, Ed.
Hello.
And we
Good to
have
be back.
Jill.
Hi, everyone.
How's Jill, Minister of Chill, the Drill, whatever we were calling you?
Going in for the kill.
Yeah.
Dying in retail, but One Piece has got my back always. So there's that.
So the screenplay this week is by Hitoshi Tanaka, episode director is Yoshihiro Ueda, storyboard artist is Tetsuya Endo, and animation director is Masayuki Takagi. The title card this week is 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Something about
it's creeping up there a little bit. I mean, 5 minutes, it's not that long, but it's starting.
I feel like honestly, they could have enough at this point.
They could have this episode. They could have gone longer.
So we see we see Jack and his men, and he's reading about his own death in the paper. So this is our first realization that Jack is in fact not dead, and he is going to be on his way back to Zoe. And he's saying, "Oh, this is bullshit. Why are they saying I'm dead? Do you think I'm dead?" Blah blah blah. And Jack is Jack is huge, and he's holding a normal sized newspaper, which looks small in his hands, which is the detail I've always loved.
Yeah, he's prepping for a Jack attack.
So we get lots of quiet panning as pretty piano music plays, and we're just sort of looking over the crowd of the Straw Hats and the Minks and the Samurai. And eventually, Kinemon pulls his robes off and he reveals the tattoo of the Kozuki symbol on his back, and it goes immediately to like Cat Viper and Dogstorm arguing like cats and dogs before Momonosuke eventually has to speak up and forbids them from fighting each other, especially if it's over his father. And we've got the Straw Hats to sort of off the side, like, what's that mean? Kinemon's right here. Why are you talking about your dad like he's not here? And Dogstorm and Cat Viper are very disappointed in themselves for making Momonosuke mad. Immediately they bow. And then we get the same music track from the end of last week's episode. The really great what's it called? The bond between the samurai and the minks, which is like a new. It's gonna be one of those new like mainstay tracks. I think they bring up a lot.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Yeah. So they reveal that Momonosuke and Kinemon are technically not actually father and son. Kinemon was basically.
But they're both perverts.
Yeah, they're both perverts, as Brooke is quick to mention. Yeah. Momonosuke his true identity is Kozuki Momonosuke, heir to the daimyo of Kuri in the land of Wano. So there's a few words in there that we don't know exactly what they mean in the context of One Piece quite yet.
And you say all this, but you just covered like 7 minutes worth of material.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's just a lot of just shots of nothing going on.
And occasionally, like stuff like this will like infuriate me watching the anime, but like I didn't find it particularly offensive this week because
they throw in some
it's a very sort of sweet emotional moment.
Yeah, and they got some
like,
really
the music
nice.
is good.
Yeah, the music is what is what saves it for me.
Yeah, agreed. There's some really great voice acting in the music, and it's an important moment, like the whole like the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind it being dragged out a bit.
I mean, story wise, I still feel weird about this twist because like I can't imagine that this was on purpose, like that. As far back as like Punk Hazard, Oda was already thinking like, oh man, we're gonna reveal later that they're not actually father and son. Like, it just feels that it feels a little contrived to me.
He must have planned it at least when they were sailing to Dressrosa, because there's a whole thing where he was talking about how he was gonna be the next daimyo.
True.
Or the Lord. So
I mean, like I imagine that was just like a kid being like overly ambitious.
I thought it was something from then on.
So we get some party antics as Cat Viper and Dogstorm make a truce, and they're finally just get along now. I can't remember. Did they state that they can't? I think they can't even remember what they're fighting over. If I remember, like it was the same as the Giants, or am I? Or
no, they know.
Yeah, because it was something over Odin, I guess.
Did you see like when Pedro and Shishilian were giving each other the eye there? I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Like they clearly fill in the same position on both sides.
Yeah. So there's just a bunch of like more party antics. There's some really annoying stuff of Momonosuke grabbing some boobies.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's not great. And it's his face that pisses me off the most. Like when he's like stuffing his face into Robin and he's just got that like just really nasty look on his face. I'm just like, fuck you, kid.
It bothers me.
This isn't
I
funny.
like Momo other than this.
But I mean, yeah, he is like the spoiled little kid too. But he's gone through some hardships, as we'll see. But he does get into that argument with Luffy about like asking Luffy to bow down. It's like you know Luffy.
Yeah, I do like that. Even though Luffy, even just hearing how big of a deal Momonosuke is, Luffy is not impressed. My favorite moment in this episode is actually during sort of this general celebration. As you see Zunisha just sort of splashing some water up in the air, and like the sprinkles cause reflections, and then there's a rainbow. It was a really nice shot of like the camera panning over like Luffy looking up at this rainbow, and I just think it's a really nice. It's a really
the rainbow
just nice.
part was dumb, Sam.
No, what? You didn't like the rainbow?
God, it was so dumb. That
You didn't
wasn't
like the rainbow?
manga, was it? No, it's just like, oh, everything's happy and we're having friends. Here's a rainbow. Might as well bring out Mr. Rogers singing.
What's wrong with Mr. Rogers?
Nothing's wrong with Mr. Rogers, but like, why was there a damn rainbow?
Okay,
Why wouldn't that elephant flood everything with the water again?
Okay, well that might be a point.
Okay,
but
I'm addressing this in the public right now. I am saying Jill is anti-rainbow, and then send tweet. Okay. Anyway, so we move ahead in the story as they're climbing up the whale tree, and everyone's excited to meet the ninja Raizo, and they're all doing their ninja impressions. Luffy's guys neen. Momonosuke hears a voice of some kind, and it makes him really uncomfortable, and he's not sure if he wants to go up all the way, but he powers forward, and Cat Viper and Dogstorm feel like this reminds them of somebody, which I think I know who that is, but.
I mean, it's a pretty clear reference to Gold Roger.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the person who hears the voice of all things.
So they make their way to. I'm just generally excited to get to this point in the story, which is mostly the stuff that happens next episode. But I'm just like, oh man, we're going up the tree. We're gonna get to that episode. They find.
I don't know, based on the upcoming episode titles, this might go over another episode as well.
Ugh.
Whoa, oops.
Mm.
So anyway, we get to the secret door in the tail of the whale tree, which is where they're keeping Raizo. It is this hidden place that Jack's men would have never been able to find. We're going down these like really giant steps, and I really like this little scene of Nami's like, "Hey, Luffy, don't get carried away, don't get too excited," and then like immediately Robin's like skipping past her. She's like jumping down the stairs.
I'll show you how to run in heels.
Yeah. I love seeing Robin just having fun and breaking character in general. And this brings us to the final scene where we finally, at long last, meet Raizo of the Mist, a ninja from the land of Wano, and he is a sight.
The word.
He is not what we expected him to look like. He's really ugly looking, really goofy looking. He's actually like chained up against this rock, and because he's being being hidden away from the pirates against his own will. He probably would have just sort of stormed out and blown his own cover had the minks not tied him up, which is a little funny thing. But yeah, this guy is he's pretty interesting looking. And he's got a great voice. He's got
a crescent shaped scar on his face.
Yes. So that's when the episode ends and we get the to be continued. And that wraps us up for the episode. Any general thoughts, you guys?
Oh boy, nothing, not much happened here. Some sweet moments, but yeah.
The ninja.
Yeah,
that happened.
Apparently,
the subtitle of the episode is the
Yeah.
ninja. Like, he appears. Yeah, he appears for like 20 seconds,
if even.
Yeah.
I guess I like this episode more than most people because just like those nice moments really felt good to me. Like I really enjoyed them a lot.
It was pleasant, like a warm breeze on a 60-degree day. But
60 degrees is hella cold. Oh wait, that would make sense. Never mind.
I live in Chicago. You know what the high temperatures is on Thursday? It's 2 degrees.
It is 0 degrees right now in Minnesota.
It's like 75, guys.
Fuck off.
That's too hot. It's too hot.
Please.
One day I'll live in California. Anyway, Jill, what were your thoughts?
My favorite parts are I really like Luffy interacting with kids because he gets them on a level. Probably because he is basically just a child. Especially kids who have to deal with a lot. Like with like Momo. And kids who like they have like power thrust on them. Like Momo is he's gonna be Lord, so he has to have that. He's trying to be mature, but Luffy helps him realize that he's also just a kid. And so any interaction between them is pretty great. I like that they go from like fighting to just like having fun together. I thought that was good. Otherwise, this was like a very slow episode.
I think that sums up everyone's thoughts. You guys ready to move on to the next segment? Not next episode.
I would like to move on to the next episode.
Yeah. It would be nice if that released now. I'd watch it.
Well, I mean, like based on the title, like I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming there's also another ninja or a ninja.
More ninja.
More ninja.
Let's learn exactly what this ninja can do.
Next week we find out who that ninja.
This is like the point of an episode where we'd be making puns, but we're not even that clever.
I'm like trying to think of one. I was like, all I could think of was just like Naruto jokes.
Now, Who Dat Ninja was one of Tracy Jordan's movies from 30 Rock. It's on a poster in his dressing room.
God.
Okay, next segment. I think that's enough.
We're still recording? Our sponsor this week is Right Stuf. The Right Stuf holiday sale is underway. It's been underway for several weeks now. New items are added to the sale daily. You can save up to 95% off on DVDs, Blu-rays, books, and merchandise. Quantities on some items are limited, so make sure to get those orders in so you can get everything by Christmas. New items will be added every Monday, and this Monday's big mega deal is Double Zeta Gundam. As we all know, the Right Stuf is the licensor for much of the Gundam franchise here in America now, so they're putting out a lot of the back catalog, especially the Universal Century things. So if you're into Gundam, Right Stuf is definitely the place for you, and frankly, if you're into any anime at all, or manga, or anything related to Japan generally, you can probably find it at rightstuf.com. And is there anything that you guys are particularly excited about looking at this holiday season?
Well, I'm just looking at the featured products for day 22 here today. Of course, by the time this comes out, there's probably completely different products that they'll be hawking on the front page. But like I'm looking right now at the Osamu Tezuka story book, which was translated by a translator senpai of mine, Frederick Schad, who is a veteran, and he actually met and knew Tezuka. From going to Japan, like back in the 70s and the 80s. He was one of the pioneers of bringing manga to English, and he translated this massive book. I mean, God, this book, I think it's like it's close to 1,000 pages or something like that. It's an enormous thing, and it is currently half off. So if that's the sort of stuff that you are interested in, Right Stuf is definitely going to be a great place to look for a good deal on it.
And actually, one thing that I was looking at possibly getting, it's been intriguing me for a while now, is this manga series, I Am a Hero. It's about a mentally unhinged manga artist who witnesses the beginning of a zombie outbreak in Tokyo, and he's certain of only two things. He's destined to be the city's hero, and he possesses something quite rare in Japan, an actual gun. And I know our good friend Manofsky was tweeting about this some months ago, and there are 2 omnibus volumes out, and they are half off currently in this sale. So if you want to get that and get it to you packaged perfectly, as Sean Kleckner from Right Stuf talked about on the Anime News Network podcast several weeks ago, they do a really good job of packaging everything, and with this deal, it's almost, you'd be silly not to buy it from Right Stuf. Is there anything else anyone was looking at?
I mean, like Funimation's been releasing a few of their shows. I'm a big fan of like Death Parade and Prison School, which got Blu-rays released recently, and those are shows that I would love if someone got me for Christmas.
Hint.
Yeah, hint, hint.
Yeah, but speaking of Funimation shows, maybe next year in the holiday sale, it'll be Yuri on Ice, Yuri half price at RightStufAnime.com. So check out their holiday sale, and we thank them for their support.
Ayo.
This is the Piece Together segment, where we take your questions, your comments, your theories from all over the internet, and Diesel will choo-choo all over them.
Gross.
Yeah.
Choo-choo? You mean choo-choo-choo, spit them out? Like, I feel like we could workshop that one a little better.
All right, but first we go to Reddit, and Steven, you've got a bunch of questions for us.
Yeah, let's see. Oh boy, let's see. I did not pre-screen these, so let's just go right through them. A Lil Ka motherfucker wants to know, no Reiju, do you guys think Pudding did this? Is Brooke going to get juiced alive? Is he going to get years of his life taken away by Big Mom? Too bad he doesn't have skin and he is dead. Yo ho 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 ho. I'm starting to think more along the line that Sanji is going to save the crew instead of the Norm that Luffy will. This next half of this arc will be Sanji taking off and beating some ass. How will Chopper take advantage of the mirror world? Finally, when do you think we will see Caesar the Clown again, and what will happen with him? et cetera, et cetera. So
The answer to all those questions is yes.
yeah, we definitely did cover a lot of this in the manga recap for sure.
Except that last part, which I hope is no.
Was Caesar?
Wait,
Do you think we will see Monet and Virgo again?
Oh, in the question. Yeah, I did not read that part. Probably never, maybe in a cover story, but
I'd say in a cover story at this point.
Yeah.
I just
Like
want them to
Oda
be
doesn't
dead.
Oda doesn't like kill characters off
No.
and then like ever.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone speculating that Monet might be in Big Mom's book because there are like Punk Hazard Centaurs in there, but I don't think so.
That'd be funny though.
Yeah. Because I feel like if he mentioned that in the arc, it would have to go somewhere, and I feel like that's more of a thing that he could just like throw out as a joke answer or something. So
I think we could see Monet and Virgo again, but I think it's too soon.
yeah. Agreed. Onyx Girl wants to know, do you think it's weird that an eggplant man was the one talking to Zeph's little eggplant? Yeah, we did kind of touch on the similarity there. That was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize it till Alex brought it up. So
This was a lot more pure before emojis took over.
Oh dear.
ooh.
Oh wow. Yeah, Sanji, little eggplant, baby eggplant. Poor Sanji.
Oh, I see. Because eggplant signifies something.
Yes. Yeah, Oda predicted emojis when he did that back in Baradier. Let's see. None Easy wants to know, how did we like the pacing of this chapter? I think we liked it a lot. Things seem to have picked up quite a bit. I imagine in future arcs with so many characters, we might get this style where every character gets a page or two each chapter and simultaneously moves the plot along. Is this a reaction to feedback from Dressrosa? I imagine we could have gotten a whole chapter dedicated to each character if Oda wanted.
I do definitely feel reaction to Dressrosa in a lot of Whole Cake Island, like because the thing that's coming to my mind right now is just like the female designs, right? Like they're all just like all over the place now. Like after people had been complaining about it for long enough, and now suddenly it's answering that, and the fact that the story is just moving so fast compared to what it was before.
Well, what was the Japanese reception of Dressrosa like? Because
I think
mean,
it
I
was-
know we all didn't really enjoy it, but
Yeah, I think it was similar to ours. I think that they definitely felt it dragging on. It's hard for me to get a handle on that specifically, just because like I don't go on 2chan or stuff where you would see like those reactions. But I mean, the one thing I would say is for Oda, I think it is a response. I mean, I think he is intentionally tightening things up after Dressrosa.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, people really complained about Dressrosa. I think it's him. I think he was like, oh yeah, I really didn't, I didn't want to expand that arc as much as I did. Like that kind of backfired on me in certain ways. And so I think it's that, and plus, I think he's getting older too. Like he doesn't necessarily want to have these arcs drag on and
I want
longer
to finish
and
the
longer.
story before I die.
Exactly. And he knows that these are we're getting into like the prime time here as far as like the stuff that should be the most impressive and the stuff that should be the most dramatic and highest stakes and all that. So I think he wants to do them right, and clearly he's really excited about doing Wano. So I think he wants to get through this and do it as efficiently as possible. It seems like.
I'm very curious what Dressrosa is going to feel like when looking back, like in a few years, is it going to feel too long even when we go back to it, or are we going to be more forgiving of that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that we'll see. Let's see. Super Dupes has some commentary on the anime. This may be kind of well-worn ground, but after a long time of being able to forgive the recaps that take 30% of an episode and all these panning over static images to pretend like it's animated, I just can't take it anymore. Especially when you have shoddy artwork. He includes an image. I know that animation isn't easy, and for them to produce a show every week is a lot of work, but at some point you have to admit to yourself that it's just not that good. It's killed my love for the franchise to the point where I even have a hard time listening to you guys because it reminds me how bad the anime is now, even though I enjoy listening to you all to the point where I follow you on Twitter. My question here is, what do you think Toei would have to do to make the show better? I know they don't have to because the market will continue to eat this up, but do you think if it went into, 26 episode seasons like a lot of other anime, it would help or hurt the anime as a whole?
It would definitely help, but that's just not going to happen. Like,
They'd
have to do a condensed show. Like, they'd have to do a Kai version of it to make parts of it decent.
To clarify, it would help the quality of the anime.
Yes.
It may not help other aspects.
So this is very similar to that like semi meltdown I had during that really weird clip show episode.
Yeah,
because I'm I in jail too. We're the anime people here. We're the people who really still have a lot of affection for it, and I think it's been really strong lately. Like I think like last week's episode was probably the best one in years. It is tiring sometimes to acknowledge some of the flaws because they are, they're not great, because especially because like just even having like Dragon Ball Super to like compare it to, where there are no like super long recaps and the opening's only a minute and a half and all that, like it makes some elements of the One Piece anime feel even weirder, knowing that they're doing this other show right before it that doesn't do those things. A season-based release of One Piece would not scratch itches for me. Like I would not want them to like stuff a whole arc into 26 episodes. I want them to have more freedom to structure it how they need to. But obviously, I wouldn't want it to. My preference would not be for it to continue being as slow as it is right now. But I don't know. Just like there's always like some trade-off you're making with every suggested change, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what they need to do is do about a year's worth of filler.
Oh God, no!
But
I
no,
went
here,
through Naruto. Don't do this to me. Bleach, Naruto, it killed those animes.
Here's the thing, though. We're coming up on a bit in the series where you could easily do like a 26 to 30 episode filler arc that is nothing but them going through the Biscuit Island and the Cheese Island and the Berry Island. Basically, Oda skipped through all of that to get to the meat of the whole Cake Island arc, which is great. And I kind of hope that he takes that the anime takes their time and kind of uses that to their advantage in terms of getting the manga and
then
caught up.
Wouldn't that just basically dress Rosenize the whole Cake Island arc in the anime? Because then you would be like turning that into a super long. It would make obviously like the canon material, if they could punch it, keep it down and make it really punchy, like that would be way more awesome at the point where it really matters. But it's still not perfect for sure.
They have the willpower to do that.
Well, but no. What I'm saying though is that like, sure, it's gonna suck, but it'll be better in the long run.
I've spoken to anime fans and manga fans who have talked about the One Piece anime, and a lot of them say something that they really like about the anime might not be the animation, but it's the fact that the filler arcs are relatively small, and they understand it makes it so it can't catch they can't have like an extended period where they can work on the animation super well. But a lot of these people, at least in the US, have like been through like Toonami, where it's like Naruto marathons, Bleach marathons, but it's just like so much years of filler. And it just kills your love for it. I feel if there was just a year of filler, I wouldn't watch the anime anymore.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. It took me a while to catch up on some of the more recent episodes, and that stuff is canon. A filler, it was. I think you'd see a huge downturn in terms of people tuning in. I don't know. We've come so far now at this point. It's kind of hard to make such a drastic change. I think, unfortunately, things are just going to stay the way they are. Enjoy the movies.
Most likely, yeah. Kushya Bish has a question about Film Gold. They're super excited. Bought 5 extra tickets and convinced some of my friends and family to come watch it with me, because if they didn't, I've just wasted my money. So they all agreed, and now I'm hoping I at least get one of them into One Piece after the movie, which I think is very likely because I heard Film Gold is legit. Did any of you guys do something similar? Are you inviting friends who never watched One Piece to watch it with you? How excited are you about the English dubbed? I've always watched the Japanese version, so I hope it will be good.
Oh my god, I am known amongst my friends. It would be like, oh, is there a party going on? Oh, is Jill watching One Piece over there? Just trying to get people to watch it with her? Yeah, that's the thing. I'm literally like friends. If they hear One Piece, they're like, oh, is Jill here? They know it, and it's and I've gotten people to watch One Piece because I just sit down and turn it on. They'll sit with me because they're drunk, and then they'll watch One Piece, and then they just keep going with it, and it's great.
I do remember once I was at a party with a bunch of people who I barely knew, and my friend just like put on the newest episode basically for me, and people watched it, and like they were actually like really sad when the two big new card came up because they're like, "What? That's it? There's not more."
I think once I got out of my teenage years, I never really tried convincing people to read One Piece. I was just fine with it just being my own thing. And it wasn't until the podcast where I was really talking with other fans. I'm gonna be doing a lot of traveling at the beginning of next year, so I know I'm seeing it in at least 2 different states. But I don't think. Well, most of my friends out here now in LA, a lot of them are artists and work in animation. A lot of them are into One Piece already, so I don't even have to do any convincing. But I don't know. I know I'm going to see it at least twice, and I'll see it with some close friends who like the series, and I'm good with that. I don't need to convert anybody. I've never been.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it in DC, and I'm going to tell a couple people to come see it. Whether or not they decide to come, that's their prerogative. I don't worry about getting people in One Piece, but when I do, I'm very excited and tickled about it.
Yeah, my the mall I work at is actually playing it 4 times, which is very exciting. So I may go and see it 4 times.
It'll be interesting for me. I'm going to go with my girlfriend because we're going to go to Universal Studios and do some LA stuff while we're up there. But it'll be interesting because I think this will be the first One Piece animated material that I will actually see dubbed first. So I won't have any performance, mindset, coloring my perception of the dub, which will be interesting. I'm kind of eager to see what that's like, to go into that.
Yeah, this will be cool. The first One Piece movie I watched where I didn't give up and find spoilers online or really shitty cams of it. I'm actually super excited.
Yeah, I don't know anything that happens in the story beyond what's in the trailers.
Yeah.
I do. I read shit. I'm sorry. I don't really care that much about the One Piece movies generally, because they're side stories. Film Z set a new precedent for me in terms of what I expect out of a One Piece movie now, because it's very different from any other previous One Piece movie. Yeah. So, and when I heard that, Film Z isn't quite like that, I was like, okay, well, I'll just read about it. and I think I went on an Arling Park thread and somebody had seen it, so I peeked a little bit. I don't know everything that happens exactly, but when I peeked, I saw a couple of things here and there. I'm like, I see. But I'm still very, very excited for it. This is going to be my first dub first experience as well, and I haven't watched the Heart Gold special yet, and I feel like that's probably required viewing.
Probably not.
No,
I don't know.
awful. Do not watch it. Ignore it. Doesn't matter at all.
It vaguely references Nami's relationship with Karina,
which will be explained in the movie. So ignore it.
Yeah, don't ever go into. I've learned my lesson at this point. Going into those TV specials, they don't. Oh God! Remember Little East Blue? Remember when we thought that was gonna be so important?
Guess what? I never watched.
God,
I never watched that.
Good.
Well, that was a filler arc, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
watch it in
tend
English.
to skip those.
We're in it.
That's why I don't.
Well, ringing endorsement for that content there. I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll move on to Fierce Alchemist, who wants to know: do you think later in this arc one of these Straw Hats will KO Mondor, thus releasing Luffy, Nami, and all of Big Mom's captured animals from the books? If his power works on the same rules as Sugar's, I think the probability is high. I mean, it definitely seems like that's what needs to happen for them to be freed at this point, unless somehow he sets them loose for some reason or another. But I think we saw from like I was mentioning in the manga recap, the way Oda handles what are the boundaries of this power or that power is he basically just has to have some character say, okay, now we're done, or this is all we need to do. And that is all the explanation that, the authorial voice that you get as far as how it works.
I think we've come up with a new term on this episode: sugar rules.
Yeah.
Do their powers fall under sugar rules?
Right.
Do all powers fall under sugar rules?
It's there's legal precedent. We'll have Zach explain this to us next time he's on. Let's see. A bunch of people mentioned Capone in relation to Reiju's appearance at the end of the arc, and we certainly talked about that. But I did want to point out that White Bear Beppo did have a suggestion that if it is indeed a gunshot on her leg, that it could be the doing of our favorite intern, Vito the Phantom Gun.
Oh, Vito.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
I mean, he's got to do something with that gun at some point in the story. Like, I feel like he got introduced with a lot of character, and we haven't seen that pay off yet. So, who knows?
Doesn't he love Germa? Like he.
Oh yeah, he idolizes
Germa,
them.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like why would he shoot one? I don't know.
Maybe she finds out, or he finds out she's trying to betray them, like get Sanji's help or something like that.
He's disillusioned. He was like paying her compliments, and then she didn't. She wasn't nice to him in return.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
God.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I turn into like a weird stalker murder fan kind of
Nice
situation.
Vito.
I mean, we had that with Vanderdecken, so.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, I think that'll do it for Reddit. I don't know. Does that, Ed? Is it time for something, Ed?
I think it's time to piece the tweet. Yeah. It's time to piece the tweet, everybody. This first one comes from the Kaizo Kurufi, who asks, do Big Mom's ex-husbands pay child support?
Yes.
Okay. The important questions here. Our very own Sai, big My Hero Academia fan, gotta ask, what other One Piece characters should the My Hero Academia characters cosplay based on this week's cover of Jump with other?
Yeah.
And we didn't really talk about that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
forgot
talked
to
about
talk
the
about it.
So there were other Jump characters cosplaying as One Piece characters on the cover of American Jump this week, but a lot fewer characters than on the Japanese Jump.
Yeah,
People
My
had
Hero
opinions about
Academia
that.
characters cosplaying One Piece characters. I think. Doesn't she ask for like the inverse as well?
Yeah,
Looking
either
at
way.
The piece of the tweet.
I don't remember any of their names because they're so Japanese.
Yeah, that's true.
Just name their powers. Who would All Might dress up as? Who's like a big buff guy or a not so buff guy? That would be funny.
Whitebeard or Brooke.
Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke. I was about to say Brooke.
Please.
Frankie?
Uses
I don't know
like,
these
paint his
characters,
face up.
but
He uses to paint his face up as a as
Oh,
like a Karate Kid skeleton guy.
Too, the frog girl should be Carrot.
Oh.
Since she was a frog.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Any others?
Tsuyu is the frog girl.
Angry
That's
what
right,
kid
yeah.
who blows shit up could be Gladius?
Bakugo.
Yeah,
Sure.
you have the hair.
Wow.
The hair is very simple.
The hair is similar. They both got bombs.
That's good. Does anyone else have one?
I think that's it.
That's all I know
Okay.
about that series.
Okay. Frank Full Metal asks, Abalon versus Diesel. Who will emerge victorious as the strongest train human?
Oh, is that the cart guy?
Oh my god.
Maybe they're brothers.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't Diesel just like carry the other guy around, or pull the other guy around?
Yeah.
Since he's the engine.
They both seem pretty inept.
That would save that filler for me. If it's like Oda just mentioned it in SBS, I'd be like, all right, I'm good with this now.
Yeah, actually, they were brothers.
Okay, next one comes from Pirate Marimo. If the Straw Hats went into outer space, which planets in our universe would you want Oda to base an arc on? Wow.
Yeah. Go to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like Doom.
Yeah. I mean, that's really kind of the only planet that you can do this for.
Well, doesn't Jupiter have like a ton of moons? That'd be cool. Like a
Kind of like the Cowboy Bebop, with all the fighting was on like moons and stuff.
yeah, and then they go into the storm, the red eye, and then die, I guess, because it's space.
Right. Okay. Next question
I was about to
comes
say, I'm like,
from.
are we supposed to suggest fictional planets as well, like Tatooine? Or I'd like to see him go to Jupiter and not really do anything because you can't. It's a gas giant.
gas.
You wouldn't be able to live there.
Yeah.
You'd die.
There you go.
So Tatooine.
Next question comes from Ash, who says, "Will Brooke ask Big Mom if he can see her panties? If yes, what will his reaction be?"
Death.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Brooke he probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't ask, and that's offensive by itself.
I don't want it.
No.
Nobody wants that.
I
Apparently,
feel like it's too serious for a situation for that.
Mhm.
probably. Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from our very own Adil, who asks, "Is Brooke Big Mom's natural enemy, like Usopp and Perona or Enru and Luffy? She takes other people's lifespan, but Brooke is already dead."
That's
really
kind of a
addressed
question, isn't it? Yeah.
Addressed this already, but yeah, it's a very good pairing. It's a very good pairing.
Yeah. Good job, Oda.
All right. Next question comes from Ricardo Rodriguez. Year of Sanji? My vote is for Brooke. Yours? I hope Sanji pulls off some Smoking Aces type stuff by the end of this arc.
Like
I guess
the movie
maybe he
Smoking
wants-
Aces?
That's what he put it in quotes too. I've never seen that movie.
Wow, that movie came out like a decade ago. That's a really interesting, weird, deep cut.
What exactly does that entail? Does he just pull the plug on two people on life support? Is that what he wanted to do?
I don't know. But is he trying to say that he wants like next year to be the year of Brooke? Maybe. I mean, I'd be down for that actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just stating that Brooke seems to be doing more cool stuff at this moment than Sanji is.
Yeah, sure, but Sanji's driving the action.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like we're slowly getting to the point where Sanji makes his character turn and sticks up for himself and starts to be, secret agent Sanji, but we're not there yet.
All right. Next question comes from It's Aura. Why hasn't the government just lied to everyone and say they found the One Piece to put a stop to the pirate era?
That's a good question.
Would people ask for proof?
Yeah.
Not if it was like, the world today.
It's too dangerous.
Just a bunch of treasure, just a bunch of money.
They're just like, whatever. This is all fake news. We don't believe
Yeah,
this.
I don't think fake news is a thing in One Piece.
Fake news is everywhere in One Piece.
Like where?
Like
When-
Jack's death.
Yeah, and when Crocodile when Smoker took down Crocodile.
Oh right. Well, that was a
that's
cover
true.
up. It's not like
Yeah.
made up news though. Like
It's difference. It's all a government conspiracy. The government conspiracies in the One Piece world are real.
Yeah.
Or like when the government of the Goa Kingdom conspired to kill all the poor people.
Right.
That was real. But the news was fake. Okay, man. I think that's almost it. Last question from 91 Ryan. When will we see the One Piece read-through of Zoe? We have to wait a little longer for that, but the arc is over, so we could go back and revisit it.
Yeah, I think Zach said that we're going to wait at least, what did he say, like a year or two when we were recently asked this question, as far as like doing any sort of read-through addendum or a revisiting of that. Yeah, we're kind of done with it for now, but we will probably go back and do something like that or very similar. Yeah.
And finally, same guy. I bet Brooke will escape Big Mom's wrath by saying he's the musician they hired for the wedding or the reception.
That's a really good excuse.
Yeah. Good way to round off the segment there. So let's move on to the end of the show.
Yes, let's.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 448 for the week of Monday, December 12th, 2016. Great episode this week, you guys. We had a very, very engrossing discussion of manga chapter 849. Less so for anime episode 768, but it was all right, I guess. As a reminder, next week, no new manga chapter, but we will have the Matsuri-kan One Piece voice actors tell-all panel audio that we recorded there. We'll be back with chapter 850 and an anime recap on Monday, December 26th, 2012. And thank everyone for coming on this week. Jill, do you have anything that you want to plug or any columns coming up soon that you're working on?
Oh, yeah. So because of November being a cluster of everything happening imaginable, I didn't have an editorial come out that month, but it is coming out this week, actually on Wednesday. I'm going to have an editorial about how Oda defines a pirate in One Piece through the use of the arcs in East Blue. And I'm really excited because I've been wanting to write this one for a long time, since basically Matsuri-kan. So yeah, I'll have that there. You can reach me at Twitter at PiratessUnlock, and most other social media. And just, come talk to me. I like talking about One Piece and stuff.
Right on. Sam, thank you for coming on this week. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
People can find me, as always, on Twitter at Lucky Chainsaw. They can find me on the One Piece podcast doing the anime recap every week. And they can find me on AnimeNewsNetwork.com doing the daily streaming reviews for One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for these last few episodes while it lasts.
Yeah, I mean, it could just pause here. No, don't actually pause the recording. Just sort of pause the ending here while we gush about how great JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been lately.
Yeah, it's been.
I caught up just at the right time. I just been enthralled by the last 5 episodes. I finally caught up the other week.
Yeah, it's been a ride, and it's gonna be ending soon, which is scary.
Yeah, it's too bad. And maybe sometime late in 2017 we'll get Part 5 anime as well. They haven't announced it, but I'm anticipating.
I don't know anything about Part 5. I want Part 6 because I like Jolene.
All I really know about that's Part 7. All I really know about Part 5 is who the main character is, and that's about it. Yeah, there's Mafia. But has anyone else been watching JoJo's?
Nope. Oh yeah, me, of course. How many episodes we got? Do we have 1 or 2 more?
2 more, I think.
Oh boy.
I'm still in Egypt.
That's where I was over Thanksgiving, but I watched 30 episodes in 10 days. I haven't watched that much anime of one show in a long time. But yeah, so a detour over. But seriously, watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's on Crunchyroll. It's great. Steven, thank you for coming on this week.
Yeah, no problem. As always, make sure I'm on every manga recap. I guess I will see everyone else in 2 weeks when we return with the next chapter. I have a feeling it will prompt as much discussion as this chapter did. Oda just loves to toy with us during
Steven
these
sounds
long
like
breaks.
He knows something.
He does.
I think I do know something. So
Do we know if there's another break after the next chapter?
yeah, there will be another
Oh.
break because it's 2 double issues in a row over the holidays every year. So
It's that way every year, and I always
yep, yeah, just long enough for you to get your hopes up, and then it's like, oh no, we have another break. But the good news is that Oda has not been skipping. I feel like he went through. He made sure to hit all of his chapters without taking a break because he knew the end of the year was coming. So at least we haven't had any specifically Oda breaks. But yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at Translatosaurus. Ask me questions, you send comments, whatever you want. So hey, I'll see you there.
right on. Alex, where can the good people contact you?
Well, you can find me on all forms of social media, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram at dude exclamation all one word. Check out Instagram. You'll find some Star Wars stuff this month. It's a thing I do every year now because we're going to have Star Wars movies every December until we die. Hashtag Droidcember. I am dragging ass on it. I'm very behind. I'm 4 days behind, so let's see if I can catch up after we're done recording.
right.
And at the end of the month, I'll be having all of the originals for sale, so that's something.
Is there any Super Art Fight coming up?
There was a Super Art Fight this last weekend, in which I defeated my my challengers, and I retain the tag title championship.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
Yeah, but there is going to be a Super Art Fight at MagFest in January. That's January 4th through the 7th, I believe, or the 8th. It's that weekend in January. So come on down to MagFest and see me and Steve Yurko just kind of schlepping around and check out Art Fight there.
Fantastic. And Steve, where can the people contact you?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr. It's Steve Yurko, all one word. I will be at MagFest. I will have a table there in the dealer's hall, if you will. Other than that, yeah, I'm doing Pokedex, which is a Pokemon drawing every day. But I'm a little behind because I've had a crazy busy week, and it's going right into me flying back to the East Coast. So if you don't see any new drawings, don't mind that. But yeah, super busy. Also, editing this podcast, which you'll know by the end of this whether you liked my job or not.
And before we go, just a reminder, thank you for sponsorship this week, Right Stuf. So check them out, rightstufanime.com. One Piece Film Gold coming out in America in theaters Tuesday, January 10th, 2017. Check onepiecepodcast.com for listings, or just go straight to Fandango, or basically anywhere you can find movie tickets. It should be up there in the USA and in Canada. Support us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. We just released one of our monthly Patreon supporter podcasts talking about the 20th anniversary. And finally, I am available at Edward E. Festezio. The podcast is at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. OnePiecePodcast is our Skype name. Reddit.com/r/OnePiecePodcast. Leave us some piece together there. You can subscribe on Google Play, subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, or call us on our phone number. Steve?
Ed?
Okay. That phone number is 347-497-MAJI.
Maji.
347-497-6254. Call anytime.
I live for
Anytime.
this shit.
Questions, comments, theories, reasons why you live for this shit. Yeah, that's it, everyone. So for the One Piece Podcast, my name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.
See ya.
Oh, I forgot to say, check out Toho Yaro. It's a great podcast that I do with,
Nope,
with
not
my
too late.
friends
Toodles.
Scott
gone.
and Joey Weiser from this podcast.
No, wrapping up.
And also, we did Tampopo. It's
We're
a great
done.
movie.
We're
Watch
done.
it. Then.
Bye.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Did you stop recording?
No.
Oh.
Toot toot.
Toodles.
Toodles is my thing.
Yeah, he lost his marbles.
You don't say, Toodles.
I've lost my
He
marbles.
lost them good.
Right now, I'm